Alright, so a couple of days ago, I made a video called What is a Forced 50-50 in Tekken? And I pretty much went over the two types of 50-50s in the game. There's Forced 50-50 and then there's Standard Classic 50-50. And I guess, I don't know, maybe I suck ass at conveying information. Maybe I'm just a dumbass. I don't know. But I was trying to relay my point in specifically in terms of the neutral, and I think that was misconstrued a little bit and caused a little bit of confusion because this fine gent right here, his name's Chad the Third. He's a great guy, awesome YouTube content creator. You guys probably all know who he is already. Really awesome dude, awesome Leo player, and he also plays Fang and Chow Yu. And so he made a response to my video, and I've got nothing but respect for the guy. I love the guy. This is the kind of person I was trying to appeal to when I came into this community years ago and thought, let's try to create some buzz and discussion in the community. It's okay to disagree with one another as long as it's done in a healthy, respectful manner. Chad and I disagree on a lot of points. He even says it himself. However, we're still civil, we're still respectful, we still appreciate each other, we still even like each other's content and like each other as people and human beings. Who would have thought that that was possible? You know, a lot of Tekken content creators, and in fact a lot of Tekken players in general, could learn a thing or two from the interactions that Chad and I have. They're almost always butting heads in a topic, but we still respect each other at the end of the day and have nothing negative to say about one another. In fact, go subscribe to this guy. No joke. I'm going to put his channel link in the card above. Click the link, subscribe to Chad. He's a great player and a great content creator and a great guy. So anybody who trashes this guy in my comments, I'm going to just delete your comment because I don't have any time for that shit in the comments. Don't say anything negative because there's nothing really negative to be said about this dude. He's a really nice, awesome dude. But he did have some responses, and I'm actually putting the onus on me here. This isn't necessarily a misunderstanding on his part. This is a misunderstanding because I wasn't thorough enough in my, like I said, conveying the information I was trying to convey. So let's see what he has to say.
I know it's been a while. I've been playing Virtua Fighter, having the time of my life. Some Virtua Fighter content to come. But before that, I got some breaking news. I got some shit I gotta get off my motherfucking chest. It's killing me, all right? I can't hold it in, all right? So, without further ado, there's a YouTuber who I love, respect. I normally have, I often butt heads with him because we disagree on several points, but my respect for this guy knows no bounds. His name is The Buff Guy. I'm sure if you watch my channel, you almost certainly watch his channel. He recently made a video, another Kazuya video. He makes a lot of them, he's a Kazuya main. And he made a video called, well, I forget what it's called, but essentially he was talking about whether or not Kazuya has forced 50-50s. And when I saw the title, when I saw the thumbnail, I was like, well, of course Kazuya has forced 50-50s. But according to him, Kazuya does not have forced 50-50s. Now, to me, that's a wild claim.
So, first of all, I'm just going to clear one thing up. I never said Kazuya doesn't have forced 50-50s. He doesn't. But I never said that he doesn't in my video. So there's a little gray area there. I was trying to, like I said earlier, state what a forced 50-50 is and a classic 50-50 are, what they are in the neutral. When you're just doing a move and then you have to guess the follow-up. It's a very rare occurrence in this game to be introduced to a scenario where you just blocked a move and now you have to guess what comes next by either blocking standing or blocking crouching to ensure that you cover both bases. That's your option select for a forced 50-50. You just guess. With a classic 50-50, you usually have more leeway. Like, you can actually move out of the way of most of the follow-ups. You can actually interrupt sometimes in the follow-ups. There are options in which you're able to deal with certain things. Forced 50-50s don't really allow other options besides just standing guard or crouching guard. So Kazuya doesn't have a forced 50-50 in the neutral. And however, he does have a forced 50-50, just like every other character in the game, and we're going to go over more about what that is in a second here. Let's see more about what he has to say.
That's a wild claim. But I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't want to start beef. I'm not interested in starting some interesting beef. I am making this video to respectfully push back on his claims and to make a counter argument, but to do so respectfully. Because like I said, I actually have a lot of respect for him as a Tekken player, as a thinker. So actually, here's what we're gonna do. First things first, I don't want to cherry pick information. I don't want to misrepresent him, and I don't want to recreate situations in the lab to just like prove myself right. We're actually gonna do this scientifically. We're actually gonna do this like empirically. So first things first, we're gonna watch his definition of what a forced 50-50 is, and how Kazuya doesn't count as that. All right?
You lose to the other option. Just standing up and blocking, I can beat the 4-4-3, right? I block the 4-4-3, and Kazuya's at -3, so it's my turn. But I lose to the hell sweep. This is a 50-50. You lose to the low by blocking standing up, or you block the mid, and then it's your turn. Now, what if I block crouching? Well, if I go crouching, then I eat the 4-4-3. If I guess that he's going to do the mid, I eat the 4-4-3. But if I guess he's going to do the hell sweep, then I block the hell sweep and Kazuya dies. You know, full fucking combo, full damage. That's a classic 50-50, and the type of 50-50 that most players seem to think is really busted with Kazuya. Now, the issue with Kazuya's 50-50 is it actually has quite a bit of counterplay to it. I can just leisurely sidewalk, and I beat every option. Even though Kazuya's realigning with wave dash, I still beat. It could be 2 wave dashes, it could be 4 wave dashes, I don't care. If I sidewalk, I beat everything. And then I get to launch Kazuya. So, there you go.
Okay, so that's his explanation of what a 50-50 is, what a forced 50-50 is, and how Kazuya doesn't have one. Because you can, as they always say, just sidewalk left, bro. That's his argument. It's a common Kazuya player argument. And once upon a time, it actually was true back in Tekken 7, right? Here's the thing. We're not playing Tekken 7 anymore. And that's not the game we're in right now. This argument he's making is... I'm tired of hearing it. I'm really tired of hearing it. And every time I hear it, I always have to make the same argument. Let us stop going into the lab and creating situations that are favorable to our argument. Let's instead look empirical.
I wasn't necessarily recreating a situation that is favorable to my position. Again, this goes back to what I said a second ago. I just didn't clarify that in my video. So this is on me. So don't be giving him shit for this. I should have clarified in my video that I meant that forced 50-50s in the neutral specifically are the things that I wanted to discuss in that video, because it's a brand new concept to Tekken. Pretty much. I mean, they kind of existed in Tekken 7, you could argue, from rage drives and shit, but for the most part, if a move leaves you at like -7 or more, then you pretty much have to guess the follow-up. Unless they leave you at like -5 and then have really solid 12-frame, 13-frame options as follow-ups from there. That can be considered a forced 50-50. Like Kazuya's Patricide Fist is +5 in your face. In some senses, you can consider that a forced 50-50, but it's really not. Because you are able to sidestep, block, and that covers pretty much every option Kazuya has. If he twitches, you'll know he's going to do a hell sweep, and then you can block the hell sweep. If he's going to do anything else, you can sidestep, block, and then see what happens with the follow-up with a mid. If it's, down forward 2 is pretty much the only move that comes out fast enough to where sidestepping after Patricide Fist is going to get beat out every time. Right? You can sidestep after Patricide Fist, you'll beat out hell sweep, 4-4-3, demon paw, all that shit. Sidestep left, you're good to go. Of course, jab keeps you in check. Down forward 2 would keep you in check. But that's the beauty of plus frames. Everybody has +5 or ish moves, right? Even Leo, his main character Leo, book 3, book stance 3, is a homing high +5 on block move that knocks down on hit. Really solid attack. I think it even launches on counter hit. It's a really fucking good move. It's +5 on block, but you still have options to deal with Leo's offense after that, because +5 gives you plenty of room to move. You can still sidestep. I mean, you only need 4 frames to sidestep, which means that it puts you at, say, like a -9 position, which means even a jab, you can still even get out of the way of a lot of jabs. Pretty fucking funny face that he's got on his face right now. Like, this guy fucking downplaying Kazuya yet again, the king of downplaying Kazuya Mishima. Everybody fucking calls me that, the major Kazuya downplayer. I'm going to rant about that a little bit later in the video. But I'd like to discuss what he's talking about first. There are moves that give plus frames, and then there are moves that force a 50-50. The difference between those two things is plus frames are just momentum building moves that allow you to continue your offense and keep your turn. A lot of moves can be interrupted despite plus frames, like Power Crush, for example, can interrupt a lot of shit after you're at, -4, -5. -6 starts getting a little more scary territory, and then -7 and up, and you're pretty much forced to take the guess after. But regardless, I'm kind of digressing here a little bit. The idea of Kazuya's counterplay being just sidewalk left, bro, a lot of people will say that. Just sidewalk left. Yes, it does work like I said, in the neutral, if Kazuya is coming at you with 4-4-3 Demon Paw or a Hell Sweep or even Electric, you can sidestep or sidewalk left and dodge all of those moves in the neutral. Now, he's going to introduce a couple of players here, Kudance and Keisuke. If you guys don't know who they are, you've been hiding under a fucking rock or something. They're two of the greatest Tekken players ever. Kudance has been around since the dawn of time. Keisuke is fairly newer to the community, but he's already one of the best Kazuya players, if not the best Kazuya in the world right now. Amazing Kazuya player. And Kudance is the best Devil Jin player in the world. Now he plays Heihachi because Heihachi is much stronger than Devil Jin. He's much easier to play than Kazuya. So, and he's got a better neutral game. So Kudance likes to go to Heihachi rather than Kazuya or Devil Jin because Heihachi adds a level of consistency with his neutral game. He's got better pokes, and he's still a Mishima, so he's got that classic Mishima offense that Kudance loves to abuse, and me as well. I love the Mishima offense style as well. So he switched to Heihachi. Keisuke is a tried and true Kazuya main forever. He's a Kazuya loyalist, same as me, and they're going to fight in a sec. So let's get to that fight and show you exactly why just the whole just sidewalk left bro option doesn't necessarily work in when you get knocked down. You can dodge a lot of shit that Kazuya does from a knockdown, and I will demonstrate that later. But for the most part, just sidewalk left bro is a pretty lousy argument to favor Kazuya. You're being a little dishonest when that's all that you have to say about his counterplay. It's just sidewalk left. If you're a Kazuya player and that's what you say to defend against Kazuya, there's a lot more to it than that. Sidewalk left does beat a lot of his options, but really only in the neutral. After you get a knockdown, Kazuya becomes a monster with force 50-50s, and he's just the 50-50 king. But he has to earn that. Even if he only gets it from a 1-1-2 flash punch into Vortex, yes, it's very effective. It's a 10-frame move. It knocks down on hit. But if your opponent is playing very safe and very carefully, then it's going to be difficult to land a knockdown with Kazuya, which means you're going to be in the neutral constantly, and Kazuya has very, very poor, if not the worst neutral in the game. So that's what makes him so difficult, but once he gets that knockdown, he's a 50-50 god. Until the 50-50 either gets blocked or Kazuya loses his turn, then it's back to the neutral, and then you have to rely on getting another knockdown. It's not that hard to do against most players, but against really good players, Kazuya becomes a fucking just a nightmare to try to pilot. So let's see what we got here later on in the video.
No bullshit. I'm gonna spin stuff. We're just gonna watch it together, okay? Let's start. Okay. No 450-50s. Let's go. Hold that. Bop, bop. Bop, 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 bop. Okay, 450-50 coming in. Okay, so ooh. So if anything, Heihachi's had more 450-50 so far. Bang. Good duck. Okay, no 450-50 so far. I'm assuming that's an input error.
That was a patricide fist. That sucks. I hate when that happens. That happens to me all the time.
Right. 450-50 so far.
I need to just say real quick, just a bitch for a second. Can down forward 1+2 stop being the rage art input when we have a button that's specifically used for rage art? I have mine to L3, the L3 button of the little joystick on the fucking computer, or on the controller, I mean, and that's my rage art button. And every time I go for a fucking rage art or a patricide fist, sometimes I'll get rage art because the inputs are so close. It's forward, neutral, down forward 1+2 for patricide fist, and down forward 1+2 is rage art. So they need to change that. It's so fucking annoying when that happens because you just basically die to a single miss input. It's not fair. Just because I was a little sloppy with my inputs, I should at least get a down forward 1. Not a fucking rage art. Like, that just kills me. I shouldn't have to get killed. Neither should have Keisuke there. Shouldn't have gotten killed. Merely for the fact that he did one little input error on an extremely difficult to pilot character with tons of difficult inputs. So, it's kind of unfair. But, whatever. Let's keep her going.
None, in my opinion. Maybe you've seen more. I haven't seen any. Hold that, hold that, hold that, hold that. Okay, was that a 450-50? Was it, again, open question, was it a force 50-50? Let's look again.
Yes, that was a force 50-50. However, I mean, Keisuke did delay it. Kudans could have tech rolled into the background and then immediately started sidewalking left, and he would have dodged the majority of Kazuya's follow-ups. So he certainly would have dodged the Hell Sweep follow-up that Keisuke went for, but they weren't playing brainless Tekken. Keisuke hasn't given Kudans enough data in this match to show him that, yeah, he likes to abuse Hell Sweeps, right? Because of that, Kudans isn't going to just mindlessly sidewalk left. He's got other fucking... he's got other things to worry about. Kazuya's mids are a lot scarier than his lows, so you're gonna fucking want to just block most of the time. And only sidewalk once you've seen that the Kazuya player in fact abuses Hell Sweep. But... yeah, regardless, I would say that was a forced 50-50. That's really the only example we need to see for that, for this interaction real quick, because honestly, there's not a whole lot more to it. That is a forced 50-50, 100%. But every single character in the game has forced 50-50s. Every character does, in this sense. Anytime you knock someone down, you're guaranteed the mix-up after. You run up, and then it's either mid or low. Every single character has that in the game. You can force 50-50 anyone with anybody. Alright, so what I've done here is I've set it up so that Kazuya is going to... that Kazuya, not the white one. I'm playing the white one right now. So the default costume Kazuya, the purple guy, is going to knock me down with a Hell Sweep and then engage the Vortex. And he's going to throw out pretty much every single move you're going to see a Kazuya player throw out after they've knocked you down with Hell Sweep, right? And that's the Vortex that everybody's worried about. Hell Sweep and 112. They both give virtually the same type of Vortex. You can tech roll after both the moves, and either way, you're at Kazuya's mercy, right? Well, okay. Here's the thing. Everybody says that the Vortex is a forced 50-50, and just sidewalk left bro is not an option that can beat everything, right? So let's just... I gave different wave dash points, I gave different timing for each move. Let's see how many moves can you actually avoid consistently from a immediate tech roll into the background and then engage a sidewalk left immediately after you get up. The frame at the point that you get up, you immediately start sidewalking left. So let's go and see what we got here. I jumped there, so that's kind of shitty. So dodge Patricide Fist. Devil Fist is a great move because it catches you on a sidewalk left. The 443 got dodged. Hell Sweep got dodged. That's after 2 wave dashes too, which means that that's virtually a tech trap. A lot of the time, the Hell Sweep will tech trap. If you immediately try to get up, or if you immediately try to follow up with another Hell Sweep after a knockdown Hell Sweep. So far, the only move that's hitting consistently on with this shit is Hell Sweep if I fuck up with my sidewalk, or Devil Fist if I'm just leisurely fucking... I could try to sidewalk left into block and see what that does. So I just did a little mini sidewalk left, a little larger than a sidestep, into block, and I've dodged the Patricide Fist. Devil Fist connects all the time. Forward 4-3 dodged. So there you go. So Devil Fist, you can dodge the... Let's just go over the Hell Sweep one more time. Just to show you that you can actually dodge this thing. Whoops, I keep fucking up the tech roll. You have to time the sidewalk left correctly. There you go. So as long as you sidewalk left after the tech immediately, on the frame that you get up from the tech roll, you can dodge the Hell Sweep. You have to be good with the timing though. So there you go. So the only move that connected consistently there was Devil Fist. Now, here's the thing. Devil Fist is a really good move. It tracks more to sidestep left than the other moves I just showed. Patricide Fist, Hell Sweep, and forward 4-3 are all pretty damn linear to sidestep left. But Devil Fist beats beats Sidewalk left. So if you want to avoid the Devil Fist, then you probably need to just tech roll into block. But if you want to dodge everything else, tech roll into Sidewalk left, as long as you do it correctly, is a viable option against Kazuya's fucking Vortex, right? Now, the problem with this is it only works on player one side, because players are almost always going to be on player one side, so I figured I'd show it from this side. However, I play on player two side, right? And so I'm at an inherent disadvantage, and I'll show you the reason for that. So if I get knocked down by the Hell Sweep, I'm going to tech roll into the background, and yeah, the Devil Fist is going to connect regardless. But I cannot sidestep or sidewalk. I'm forced to crouch pretty much. I can try doing a tapping up during the tech roll animation, which then allows Kazuya to stand up immediately after. But no, there's no real way to make this work on player two side. Player two, because you can't. The problem with Tekken, a lot of people don't seem to even realize this, but it's really frustrating, and I wish they would change this system. It's really fucking stupid that it's still like this. This has been the case since the dawn of time, since sidesteps first got introduced in Tekken 3 in 1997. This has been a concept. If you're knocked down and you tech roll into the foreground, you cannot sidewalk into that direction, whichever side you happen to be on. If you're on player one side, tech rolling into the foreground and then sidewalking right is impossible. If you're on player two side, tech rolling into the foreground and then sidewalking left is impossible. So the trade-off for that is that half the cast is weak to sidestep, sidewalk right, and half the cast is weak to sidestep, sidewalk left. Kazuya is part of the latter, right? So you do necessarily want to fight Kazuya on player one side. That way you can avoid his vortex a lot more often than somebody fighting on player two side. On player two side, you're kind of fucked. You kind of just have to guess the mix-up, in which case it becomes a forced 50-50. But on player one side, I can't really consider that a forced 50-50 because the option select would be either stand up and block, or you can choose to then sidewalk. If you're wanting to dodge the Devil Fist, then stand up and block. If you're wanting to dodge the Hell Sweep, the forward 4-3, and the Patricide Fist, which are all the other amazing options from the Wave Dash, then you're going to want to tech roll into immediate sidewalk left. So it kind of does have an option select. However, if you wanted to, you could just keep spamming Devil Fist all day and you'd eventually hit them. So I guess in that sense you can argue, yes, it's a forced 50-50, but again, this is a knockdown forced 50-50. So yes, you do earn the right to 50-50 your opponent. Everybody in the game, every character has that at their disposal. Some characters have shitty lows, but a lot of characters have really good lows. And so you knock them down and you run up in their face, and then they're at your mercy because they have the disadvantage. You're at the plus frame still. They're still trying to wake up and get back on their feet. And the next move is yours. You then decide, I'm going to go mid or I'm going to go low. And they can't dodge it because it's a forced 50-50 most of the time. So, except for the scenarios that I just explained and just showcased there. So, the whole just sidewalk left, bro, is pretty hyperbolic. There's a lot more to it than just sidewalking left against Kazuya. I think up until if you're fighting Kazuya's up until the point of like they hit Tekken King. Fuck that. Tekken Emperor Kazuya players and up that I've seen most of the time, and there's even data online to support this. Kazuyas are getting fucking wrecked up to Tekken Emperor, and then Tekken God Supreme, and God of Destruction Kazuyas are doing a lot better. But that's because he's very hard to play, and you need to have vast matchup knowledge, and the matchup knowledge that the Kazuya player requires doesn't usually kick in until you've hit Tekken God and up. That's what the data says online, anyways. Because Kazuya players are getting fucking wrecked. They're like bottom 2 worst win rate in the entire game from Tekken Emperor and below. Kazuya is either the worst or the second worst. It's crazy. So, that speaks to the fact that his forced 50-50 from a knockdown is not all that effective, because you still need the fucking knockdown at the end of the day. And so if you're getting knocked down by Kazuya, it's either the Kazuya placed the move well at the right time and you got clipped, or you're playing into the Kazuya player's hands. You're respecting the player too much. You need to mash in his face. You need to keep him at range 0 so that you're constantly smoking him with pokes and pressure tools. You don't want to just give up your momentum against a Kazuya player, because the Kazuya player wants you to stop pressing buttons so they can engage their shit, because all their stuff takes forever to do. All the big moves that everybody's afraid of with Kazuya take a long time to get going. 19 frames plus most of the time. So good luck trying to get that shit out when people are jabbing in your face. That's a lot of Kazuya's counterplay. So what my initial response to Chad, as far as his video is concerned, is sorry for the miscommunication. Sorry for not conveying information correctly. I should have clarified that forced 50-50s are something that specifically is pertaining to the neutral, because there's no point in saying that you get a forced 50-50 on knockdown. Like I said, everybody gets one. Everybody in the game gets a forced 50-50. Even Heihachi, you can still hell sweep and hit them with a low. It's still a forced 50-50. So he's got the worst lows in the game, but he still has a classic 50-50 as well as a forced 50-50 on knockdown, because he's got a low. Even if it's shit, you still have to guess on wake up most of the time. But the whole just sidewalk left, bro, as you saw, it holds a little bit of truth there. There is some truth to that statement. I know that he doesn't like the whole just sidewalk left, bro argument, but I just demonstrated that it can work. And it is viable counterplay to Kazuya. He has ways to beat you, and he has ways to circumvent your sidewalk left. But that's part of the mind game. You have to get it in your mind, like, what is the Kazuya player doing? Oh, he does Devil Fist a lot. So after he knocks me down with a Hell Sweep, I should stand up into block. Tech roll into the background if I'm on player 1's side, and then block. Because I'll beat the Devil Fist, and then it'll be my turn, because he's at -9. So at that point, you've gotten the Devil Fist beaten. Now, everything else that Kazuya wants to do can be beaten with a tech roll into a well-timed sidewalk left. You have to be good, and you have to time your shit. But it still works out of multiple different wave dashes. Like the Kazuya can wave dash twice, which is the fastest way to engage the vortex. Wave dash into immediate move, or wave dash into move, which is a lot slower and gives the opponent a lot more time to potentially sidewalk left into safety. So you want to wave dash as few times as possible to engage a vortex that's going to work. But even then, the player has other ways to circumvent that type of offense from the Kazuya. If they see that you're wave dashing in their face, they're going to either stay on the ground and maybe toe kick you or do a kip up or something, or they're going to stay on the ground and side roll slowly and then stand up into safety. So there are other ways to deal with Kazuya's Weibu pressure as well. So even with a knockdown, his Weibu pressure can be argued that it's not necessarily a forced 50-50 unless you're playing on player 2's side. That's why for Kazuya mirror matches, the player 1 Kazuya always has a major advantage over the player 2 Kazuya for the reason that I just specified. Player 1 Kazuya wants to sidestep left, so does a player 2 Kazuya. Player 1 Kazuya can do it out of a tech roll, no problem. Player 2 Kazuya can't, so he's forced to guess, which puts him at a disadvantage just naturally. That's just obvious. It's just a fact. So, player 1 Kazuyas always have a bitter advantage over player 2 Kazuyas. But if you're playing on player 2's side in general, doesn't matter what character you're using, you have a disadvantage against Kazuya. So, that's just the game system, though. Unfortunately, they still have that bullshit. I wish you could tech roll into the foreground and immediately start sidewalking into the foreground, but They still haven't put that in the fucking game yet, so it's stupid, but I hope they add that one day, because it just makes fucking sense. I don't understand why it's not in the game yet. But, anyways, I hope that clears up any confusion, because I really like Chad, and I think he's an awesome person, as well as Tekken player and content creator. So, these discussions are like, this is the reason I made this channel, begin to start talking about Tekken content, because I fucking wanted to have these discussions. Healthy, educational, like you said, empirically tested fucking experiments that we can then verify certain facts whether they're true or not. You know? People make a lot of claims on YouTube, but a lot of those claims, I'd say even like upwards of 90% of the claims by people made on YouTube about certain characters in this game are dishonest. And they didn't even do the fucking research before making the claim. And that's something I advocate 100% against. I fucking hate it when people say shit and don't have a clue what they're talking about. They act like they have an answer to this, whatever the fuck the answer is, anything in life. And they act like they're so confident with the answer, they have no fucking idea what they're talking about. That shit drives me nuts. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, then shut up and do the research. Come back once you got the data and you have videographic evidence that we can verify whether or not your claim is true. So, the just Sidewalk left bro claim from a lot of Kazuya players, well, I just demonstrated that there is in fact some truth to that. It's not the be-all, end-all. It's not the way you're going to beat Kazuya, because good Kazuyas will mix up their timing. But Tekken King and below Kazuya players are not really that great at mixing up their timing. So you can easily just sidewalk left, bro, and you will beat the Kazuya player. I've beaten the shit out of Tekken King and below Kazuyas because they have no sense of timing mix-up. I stress to all you Kazuya players, I don't give a fuck if you're a Fujin, you should be learning timing mix-ups, especially if you're in blue ranks. Like, what? It's so sad that blue ranks don't even count as fucking blue ranks anymore, because there's such a rank discrepancy there. That's the thing I'm going to talk about in the next video, is we're going to talk about the ranked system a little bit, because we need to say some things, and I've got some inputs that I'd like to be heard, and maybe the devs will come across the video, and who knows, maybe we'll get some, maybe stuff will be implemented into the rank system for Season 2. But it's something else that I want for Season 2 that I completely forgot to add to my Season 2 wish list video, and I'm going to make a completely separate video specifically on that, talking about ranks. So look for that one. It's probably going to be my next video. But I hope this clears everything up. What's a forced 50-50 in the neutral? Well, a move where you have to just guess block standing or block crouching for the follow-up. There is no forced 50-50 in the neutral for Kazuya. He does not have one. There you go, I said it. He has no forced 50-50 in the neutral, and you can argue that he doesn't really even have one for the vortex. The only thing forced about his 50-50 in the vortex is if the Kazuya is smart and they mix up their timing after the knockdown, which takes a lot of skill, because I don't see a lot of that at all from Tekken King below. Even some Tekken Emperors suck at that. I see a lot of it from Tekken God, God Supreme, God of Destruction, because those are the high ranks. Obviously, you're going to see some more intricate gameplay in those ranks, but with Tekken Emperor even, Tekken King and below for sure, you don't see any of that. So just sidewalk left, bro, all day, and you will beat out most Kazuyas. Just watch out for that Devil Fist, because it does track pretty good. But anyways, much love to Chad, much love to everybody in the community. I hope this clears things up. Leave a like, comment below. Check out my new album, by the way. Here's another fucking thing. The album's on the screen now. Links for the album are going to be in the description. It's heavy metal, you know, hard rock heavy metal style, melodic vocals, melodic guitar solos, heavy drums and bass, killer riffs. Like, it's got all the shit that you want to have in your heavy metal music. So check out the fucking album. Links for everything, including the album, are down below in the description. So click them bitches, and yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I really appreciate it for the algorithm. And go subscribe to Chad. Like I said, great guy. Love having these discussions with him. I hope this clears everything up. Much love, keep rocking out, and keep gaming.